right, today I've got a Risley Super Blackhawk, and as you cock this, it has kind of a grungy, lumpy feel. I don't know how to show it to you, but I can describe it. As when you get about half cocked, you go off half cocked. At about that half cock spot, it's got a little lump. It's got a little grungy, grimy, gritty kind of feel to it, and then it locks open. So we're going to take it apart. We're going to smooth up the action. We're not going to mess with the trigger. We're just gonna mess with that action as you cock it. Be nice, and we want a nice smooth action as we cock it. All right, because I do a lot of work on the Ruger Blackhawk, I have a set of screwdrivers that are specifically sized for the screws that are in the Ruger Blackhawk. This is a gray set. They are made in the U.S. I'm not sponsored by them. I just use their product. But you could use your big gunsmithing screw set, and you'll find screwdrivers that fit exactly. But these are already made for that Ruger Blackhawk, so I don't have to hunt around to find the right size bits. I can just go to work. Kind of save some time, and it's nice to I know I have the exact size screwdriver. They're a little pricey, but if you can do a lot of work on a specific gun, you can get these for a Colt single action. Get them for some other different pistols. But it's nice to have a set of screwdrivers that you're going to fit those screws exactly. Here's a little tip for you: when you're disassembling, it's nice to have this is just a piece of cardboard, and as I take this grip frame off, I can put the screws on, so I know the orientation of the screws. I know these two go in the back, these two are in the middle, this is the front. So the 5 screws that hold the grip frame onto the revolver frame, I can keep them in the right orientation. And I know I just set that aside, and I know I'm not going to get my screws mixed up. And I have the same thing for like if I'm taking the side plate off a Smith & Wesson, I know where to put the 3 screws on that. So just keep yourself a couple of cards like this as you're taking apart different firearms. You know how to orient your screws. You don't get them mixed up and put them in the wrong spot. All right, so right off, we did a complete disassembly. And what I'm finding right off, and I don't know how well you're going to pick this up, but it's just really dirty. And there's some kind of gritty, oily, gravelly kind of dirt in here. I don't know what's going on. And it looks like maybe it's been a long time for this thing's been cleaned, and it maybe never been cleaned. But it's just look at the stuff that's coming off of this. But I think just a good cleaning is going to really smooth up this action. But some of the things we want to look at is the back of the pawl. You can see there's that spring-loaded detent that rides in the back of this, and this is very, very gritty. So that's one thing we're gonna smooth up. The bottom of the bolt stop or the bolt for the cylinder, this is already fairly smooth. We're gonna hit that with a stone too. But anywhere where we have a spring pushing against it, anywhere we have 2 parts rubbing against each other, I'm going to hit with a fine stone or some of these different shape stones. But lots of oil, clean this up, and I think we're going to have good results. Here's another shot. You can just kind of look at some of the grit and dirt that's in this. And I think what happened, it's just kind of, I don't know if you're seeing that. It's just kind of gritty in there. And I don't know the history of this gun. I don't know how. I know it's old. It goes back. Judging by the serial number, this is made in the mid-'80s, around 85 or so. So we're looking at a gun that's close to 40 years old. It's got a lot of opportunities to get some dirt in there. But we're going to, oh my goodness, we're going to take a look at, let's see, hold on. Let's get a little Q-tip and I'll show you the kind of stuff that's coming out of this. But we got the nice clean white Q-tip. We're just going to look at that. That's just, honestly, looks like dirt. It's brown. It's more than just carbon. It's more than just, old grease or oil. This gun has seen a lot of dust or dirt, sand. I'm not really sure what's in here. But one of the biggest things for cleaning up or smoothing up this action is going to be just cleaning up the gun itself. Everywhere there's a little raceway where your transfer bar slides up, we're going to clean that up. But I think it's going to be much, much smoother. One of the key areas we want to smooth up is this hammer strut the top of this is it rotates inside the hammer as we cock this back and we compress that mainspring. This surface here on the top of that hammer strut, that's one of the big places you want to smooth up. So we'll hit this with the stone. This is one of the areas we really want to smooth and kind of focus on. Another thing we want to look at is our pins. So we have our trigger pin, we have our hammer pin. Both those two are going to rotate on. We're going to make sure these are clean. You see a couple of shiny spots where there's got some wear on them. So we're just going to clean those up and lube them up. But they should be fairly smooth already. But it's another place to pivot, another place where we're going to get some of that drag. And I have a flat. This is a Norton stone. I have that pawl. I'm putting a little bit of oil on my stone, and I'm just going to smooth up that side and keep it flat against the stone. I'm just going to smooth up that side of the pawl where it does rub against the frame, and I can tell that just by that shiny spot. So that shiny spot looked a little bit, had some kind of machining, little striations or something in there, little machine grooves. So we're just going to keep the pawl flat against the stone, just going to rub it, just polish it up. This is a very fine stone, so it's going to take a little bit. I'm not really hoping to remove any metal. I don't want to get this thing, change the dimensions of it so it's be sloppy in there. I just want to give it nice smooth side of that. And we're getting pretty close. Again, just keeping that flat against the stone. Look at that. We're getting nice and smooth now. That's just one more place where you've got two parts rubbing together. But there we've taken that out of there. All those machine marks are now gone. We should be pretty good. That's gonna make a big difference when we go put this back together. All right, so this is the transfer bar, and we're just starting to smooth this up. And you see, this is the part where the base pin spring goes up against this, and you see how there's different colors. There's like some dark bluing left on there still. Well, those are obviously low spots, and where I've shined it, those are the high spots. So we're trying to make this as smooth and flat as possible. So we're going to keep polishing this until it's all the same height and all these dark spots disappear. Now we're holding that transfer bar flat against the stone. I'm just kind of making circles with it. I don't want to put any grooves or scratches into it. So I'm keeping a lot of oil on the stone, so any kind of thing, the particles kind of float off. But let's go take a look at this now. If we look at it now, you can see that it's all nice and all the same color. So we eliminated those low spots. So as that base pin pushes up against it, it's gonna be nice and smooth. So that's one more thing to smooth up that action. Okay, so we've done our stoning work. We've got everything kind of smoothed up. I spent a lot of time on the end of this this hammer plunger. So, well, that's nice and smooth now. Nice polished end, slippery smooth. All right. I cleaned out at the end of that hammer, where that hammer that hammer plunger goes. We cleaned it out the best we could. That's going to get some lubrication. We didn't mess with the trigger. We didn't mess with that hammer really. This bolt or the cylinder stop where that spring rides against that little detent rides against it is very now slippery smooth. The face of our transfer bar is now again slippery smooth. That pawl, the back again where that spring loaded detent rides against it, now that's been polished smooth too. All right, so now we've done a very good cleaning, but off camera. We'll lube this up, we'll put it all back together, and this revolver is going to be much smoother, much more fun to shoot. All right, so we spent a little bit of time, and it was time well spent, believe me. This action now is so much smoother. It's like I don't want to sound weird, but it's like it's a joy to pull that hammer back. It's so smooth. I mean, you can still feel that transfer bar coming up. You can still feel there's some movement in there. And then, we got a nice trigger too. But that action, it's so much smoother, so much nicer. I mean, a lot of that was just from the cleanup. We got a lot of that grit. I don't know what that brown stuff was. We got rid of that. We lubricated things. But that's just those five, I think we did 5 different places where we stoned, you know. And I did not work on that hammer strut where it goes to that little strut piece. That may be another place for drag, but I didn't spend that. I didn't want to spend that time on there because getting that spring off, putting it back on is a big pain in the butt, and I'm not sure you get a lot of return from it. But that's just pulling that hammer back. So now if I'm going to be target shooting, or it's about now my hunting gun, pulling that hammer back and squeezing that trigger, this is going to be so much more fun to shoot, so much more enjoyment. Just, I don't know. When you have a nice, you know, Townsend Whelan said, you know, only accurate guns are interesting, but having a smooth action, that buttery smooth, you know, slippery action, that's fun too. And having a nice trigger, that's going to allow you to be accurate. But this gun went from being to being, ooh, I want to take it out and shoot it now. All right. So there you go. Enough of me rambling. Thanks for watching.